What's going on, guys? It's Ricky here with TechBud Solutions, and in this video I want to talk about why I think everyone at one point in their life should learn more about the stock market and how to start investing. Now, I'm going to be sharing 3 simple reasons on why I think so, and if you have any rebuttals or any other reason why, feel free to share that down in the comment section. I do want to encourage you that if you have any questions, either after this video or during, feel free to send me a direct message via Discord or via Instagram, and that's the first or third link in the description down below. So one of the first reasons that I think that anyone should learn how to invest in the market is not because I feel like you need to trade every day, and I think this is a big misunderstanding from a lot of people. Trading and investing are 2 completely different things. Trading, you're trying to find most likely with day trading an intraday opportunity, which means all within the same day that you can buy low and essentially sell high, lock in profits, and you make percentage ROI based off of the opportunity that you chose to take advantage of, right? When it comes down to investing, it's over a long period of time and it's more hopefully based off of value, right? I like to keep my investing side very simple. I want to use my lady's grandma as an example. When the NASDAQ market was selling off last year, 2022, markets continued to sell off. And I mean, she saw that I was shorting the market, right? By shorting, I'm making money as the market sells off. She was like, Ricky, I really want to get into trading. I was like, I don't think you should, right? I wake up every morning at 6:30 in the morning. I commit all of my time and my attention to this and staying up to date with every detail and every economic report that was being released during that time. And during that time, even more then than now, monetary policy was a really big focus for the market because inflation was at a 40-year high. And again, we were seeing one of the biggest bear runs, meaning the NASDAQ market and overall markets were selling off for a very long period of time, right? During that market sell-off, it's a very simple concept, and feel free to reach out to any financial advisor, and they will tell you most likely the same thing. Now, nothing is ever guaranteed, right? But the companies that I began to invest in during this down market were not aggressive lower cap stocks. I wasn't trying to make a 1,000, 2,000, 5,000% return. I was buying companies like Apple, like Amazon, like Tesla, companies that I saw value in, that I saw that, yeah, they are experiencing some downturn, but can they tolerate the time that they will take for the market to recover? Right? And fast forward, just want to use this as an example. I'm using the Webull trading application. You don't have to use it, but if you want to download it, it's the 5th link in the description down below. You guys can see this on the day chart, right? This was, I'm going to actually have to go on the weekly chart. So we could see the downturn that we experienced in 2022, right? From 2022, as you can see that figure right there. 2022, the downturn that we saw on Apple, we hit overall lows to the very start of January of 2023, and then we actually began to indicate signs of an uptrend. There's this common saying with investing, and it's, everyone talks about how risky the market is during a recession. But during a bull run, kind of like right now when the market's fully recovered, they always talk about a missed opportunity, right? And it's all perspective because you can always look back and think about, oh, wow, you're right. I should have invested, or I should have invested more. But during a recession or during a pullback, it's viewed as a risky time to invest because it's uncertain. And the way that I choose to tolerate that is by managing my position size, controlling how much money I put into the market, not being afraid to do so, but also putting my money in what I see to be quality companies, right? I didn't overcomplicate it. I wasn't trying to look for companies that were hole in the walls, the secret company. Apple, one of the most valuable companies, if not the most valuable company that's publicly traded. Again, very, very simple. Looking at this on the day chart, we can see from overall lows that it made on January to current highs, right? We could see that it experienced a 51% return. If you would have put $1,000, you would have made $500. If you would have put in $10,000, you could have made $5,000. If you would have put $100,000, you could have made $50,000, right? This isn't I'm going to get rich overnight, but think about it. 50% based off of the average percentage growth per year of the S&P 500, NASDAQ, whatever the case might be. When talking about why people should learn more about investing is because I think that unlike many other markets out there, being a seasonal investor when it's suitable and in your favor is when it makes the most sense. Like, the stock market is a market where you could be very, very selfish. And in my opinion, where you should be very, very selfish. So it's during those down markets that it makes sense to buy and invest for the long-term return, right? It's a very simple question. Can you tolerate the time that it will take for that stock to recover, as long as you're investing in quality companies? Then the second thing is making sure that that quality company is actually something that is not going to continue to sell off, right? And you control that by also controlling how much money you put into it. I've seen it time and time again. People try to buy too early, too aggressive, and the cheap can always get cheaper. So if you go with the proper intention in place of, I'm going to buy with this small dollar amount, and then if it proves itself to me that it actually begins to recover, then I'll add more to it. That concept is called averaging up, right? It's controlling your position size and only adding more when direction is favorable. A common mistake that a lot of beginners make is they add more as it continues to sell off. And at that point, it's not guaranteed that it has to recover. But the reason that I believe that learning how to invest is so valuable is because of you being able to become a seasonal investor. Doesn't mean that you have to continue to follow the market every single day, but you follow it when it's suitable for you, right? And another reason, right, talking about the other two incentives, one that comes to my mind right away is the concepts that I learned by investing in the stock market are concepts and principles that I find to be universal in business and in many different markets, right? Understanding risk management, the idea of focusing on a quality setup and being selective, waiting for confirmation and staying selective and staying disciplined, right? These are all concepts that we talk about, but they're hard to implement in the real world. But again, the stock market is something that challenges you with that and your ability to stay disciplined, wait for that confirmation, wait for that criteria to be met, right? And focus on that risk management. So those universal concepts, I know when it comes down to my business or investing in real estate, have been universal concepts that it's kind of called like transfer learning. I take what I've learned from here and I'm able to implement it into other markets, regardless if you choose to pursue a future in investing, right? In the stock market, I see it as a positive takeaway because the time that you dedicate to learn more about this will, in my opinion, just simply benefit you more in life based off of what you will learn and how you will learn how to properly invest in the market, right? And one of the last things that I want to talk about is why wouldn't you want to stay and be aware of how financial market conditions are doing? Like, how is that not beneficial in everyone's life? The most common thing you hear about is like, well, I didn't know this was happening, right? Like you often hear a lot of people talk about the stock market and maybe they might have a few dollars, but maybe they don't actually understand what they're doing, right? So if I were to ask you, how often does a CPI data report get released? It might sound complicated if you've never heard of it, but it's an inflation report and it's been the main focus for the Federal Reserve. Have you ever heard of them? And did you know that there's a Federal Reserve calendar? Do you know who the head of the Federal Reserve is? Jerome Powell, and why he's so important. And sometimes what he says is more important to the stock market than if Biden were to say something. Like, it's very simple concepts that seem very obscure at the surface, but as you begin to dive into this and as you begin to learn more, you kind of immerse yourself with everything that comes with this market. And in my opinion, staying up to date with market conditions will just make you someone more of value to not just yourself, but those around you, right? Being able to make correct and suitable financial decisions for your life and for maybe your future self, right? Because you are aware of what is going on. If you hear that inflation is set to rise, then by understanding if inflation is rising, what does the Federal Reserve do in response? They raise interest rates. And if the Federal Reserve raises interest rates, it's more expensive to borrow money. And if it's more expensive to borrow money, people spend less money and the markets contract. So at that point, by you understanding that domino effect, then you can make decisions in advance that, in a sense, end up benefiting your future self. And it's just because you took time to understand the very simple concepts the stock market has to offer. And maybe even this video might sound a little overwhelming, but I can reassure you just like looking at your smartphone. At the surface, it's a very complicated device with numerous hundreds, if maybe not thousands of different options and applications in which you can utilize. But when you have an intention when using that phone, it's very simple. It's second nature. You understand what to do and what you don't need to do to get on that application to call someone, to get on that application and text someone, because you understand how to use it. Now again, the market's the same way. I want you to understand how to use it. And in my opinion, it's of benefit to not just yourself, but your future self and those around you, right? Again, obviously, I'm extremely biased. It's something that I choose to do every single day. It's not something that I feel someone needs to, but I feel like as you learn more about financial markets, it just makes you someone more of value to yourself, your future self, and those around you. So let me know what you guys think about this video. I hope that it earned a thumbs up, and hopefully maybe it just even inspires one person to get started in learning more about the market. Just like anything, right? You want to ease into it. There's a thing called paper trading, which is simulation trading or simulation investing. And it's a way that you can open up an application like this, but actually just trade or invest with fake money. This allows you to gain real experience at no monetary expense. And the application is actually for free. If you want to download it, again, it's the 5th link in the description down below. It's the Webull trading application. It's the one that I use. You don't have to. And again, a lot of different applications do offer it, but it's the one that I use every single day when I trade live with my group. If you want to be able to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, if you want to learn more about that, that's that 2nd link in the description down below. I appreciate your time. Hope that earned your thumbs up. Please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions, you know exactly how to reach out to me. Everything is linked in the description. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take it easy, team.